Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the 10th episode of Last Period. So, on the last episode, we had pretty much a smartphone OS war, basically, between Apple and Android. Well, I guess it's not really completely true. We didn't really have Apple fighting, just Runa, who was an Apple enthusiast. But still, that Apple was involved in some capacity. She even had an Apple tree in her room. But yeah, pretty much, you had Black Campanella hire the android overlord to help them out with their evil doings, and it didn't work out too well in the end, and Haru's group ended up having to help take her down. That was kind of what the last episode was. And the first frame of this next episode, we seem to have Runa in a room with her apples everywhere, so I don't know, maybe we'll continue some of this stuff in this episode. So all I know is that this episode, judging by the title of this episode, is probably going to get into like some of the smartphone stuff, like the game this anime is based off of. Like, I think it's going to get into some of that, so let's watch it and see. 3, 2, 1, play. Isn't she happy? Well, of course she's surrounded by apples. Why wouldn't she be? I do quite like her tail. So we're gonna learn a bit more about what this is about. I should point out that I'm not really much of a smartphone person in general, so a lot of references about that will probably go over my head. Just warning you now. Like, I technically have a Galaxy S7 Edge that I use, but, like, I have a desktop PC, and I don't leave my house that often, so I have very limited use for it. And I obviously haven't played the Last Period mobile game because it's in Japanese, otherwise I would. They're just making those two things clear for this episode. Iwazaru, Kikazaru, and Mizaru all just kind of napping back there with the monkey on top. The main reason I brought that up is because that thing she's holding in her fingers, like, if that's any kind of symbol or logo related to Apple, I wouldn't know. And here we go, yeah, the Happy Elements episode, which is the developers of the game, I believe. So we're starting out with Wise Man again after they had their episode last... Oh, well, both of them, I guess. We're trying to chase after some bad guys. Well, they're running away from good guys. It's like a low-speed chase, it's great. I like to make sure to hold hands with Choco because she would get lost otherwise. Or, take a nap somewhere. One of the two. So let's fall into a dark alleyway. I'm still waiting for them to realize, the whole Campanella, Black Campanella thing at some point. I want that to happen. Well, hopefully he can read it. Because I sure can't. Wow. You really shouldn't put your name on their secret hideout. Yep, that's them. Does it mention Black Panella at all? Yes, that's a safe assumption, Haru. Your deductive reasoning never ceases to amaze me. Well, they're paid specifically to do that, I think. They have a boss. We're going for a raid, guys. Very fitting for a video game. Runa, they go to Runa's room first. Hello. That she is. They're call girl. Yeah. Runa, whatever. Oh, well, let's go somewhere else then. Not completely alone, I'm surrounded by my precious apples. I mean, they should be here, though. Didn't you find their house because you followed them? Why would they be here? Yeah, who probably cheats in some capacity. There's some secret there, I'm sure. Like cheating. Are you a hacker by any chance? Yeah, I didn't think she knew. I think Black Vanilla knows, though. I mean, I would assume it's the thing she's holding, but... We'll watch you very closely, Lumina. 24/7. Oh, okay, that works. I'm glad Luna's getting a little bit of time in this spotlight. Even if she is an Apple fangirl. Yeah, they really should just hire her and have her make calls for them. That would solve a lot of problems. All they have is Iona, who sucks, apparently. One of my theories was the fact that she's sucking away Iona's call luck, but I have almost nothing to base that theory on. I can't see it, guys. Get out of the way. At least give me a boost. And no, don't. You probably don't want to fall into that. Is this? Are they gonna get trapped in the game, the smartphone game? Is that how we're getting to that? Is that Choco? That's Choco. That was a very misleading shot. It made it look like she was naked. And there's a smartphone. N-Girl, N-Star, Merksto. See, where do I find Pokemon Go on this thing? Haru, where are you, Haru? You left me alone. A little device called a smartphone. I would... That does sound pretty good. I just touched it and things happened. It was great. Oh wow, I really like the art style on that game. It's probably a real game. I'd have to look it up, but... Here we go. Yo, they behind you. I'd be scared if I was her. Yeah, if you're part of a smartphone game, that means people are watching your every detail of your life as they play it. My god, this is so weird seeing her in this setting. Yeah. I mean, it's not the best school uniform I've ever seen. I really like the top portion, but the skirt's kind of meh. Overall, I'd say it's fine, though. Nice! We didn't get separated. Oh. She seems oddly familiar. And she is so much shorter. Of course she is. And that voice definitely sounds familiar. Sounds good. It's not a proper anime/visual novel unless you're eating on the roof during lunch. Your hair sensors tingling? Oh. Oh, are they poking the screen? Is that what's happening? That's great. Yes, they're poking you in the best spots. Hey Lisa, why are you screaming? Oh, no reason. I'm just being violated by someone in another dimension. Really, there's something about her character design that's so familiar, it's bugging me. That's life in a smartphone visual novel. I mean, I'm actually watching you guys right now. Did you know that? I would touch you, but I don't. Oh God! Somebody get your 3D maneuver gear. And that, I know, right? And that's the fun of a smartphone game. You can just touch them. uh, but again, I don't play my smartphone stuff, so this game's not going to be as fun, is it? Yeah, I'm almost positive these are based off of real games. That's harder than Gajadu. This episode's just gonna be watching these two play with a smartphone. That's fun. What a chuny-ish way to wake up. Why are you at my house? Uh, too close. Back up. Why are you touching me? And where's Choco? Yuminosaki. Yeah, that's totally what our life was like before. Yeah, it's problems for other people if you get hurt. Just kicking them out. A dance lesson. My god, Haru. Didn't even trip over anything, he just kind of fell over. He misses Choco. Of course, Haru's the only one that actually realizes things are amiss. Two girls, like Lisa and Choco? Well, they're in a different game, so... Well, this is a different game. Choco's still in reality. You shouldn't question the Matrix, that'll just give you headaches. Dream Idol Festival, that does sound like a smartphone event. Like a mobile game event. I do know a lot of Japanese mobile games have that, like, live service games, a lot of events that pop up to get special items or whatever. Oh, title drop. I wasn't expecting a title drop in this anime. Man, he does look like he's about to break. Yeah, what was your first clue? Holding his head, leaning against the wall. Vampire. They just walk around. That's easier said than done. Now that you got me thinking about it. Uh, as we zoom in on his fang. Apparently this is a supernatural school of some sort. Choices. It means other people are gonna choose where you do what you say. Wow, there actually physical pops up in his game too. In his world. I don't think anyone else saw it, Haru. You're gonna make them think you're insane. They were dialogue choices. They're very common in visual novels. In fact, they all have them, or else they're called kinetic novels. But yeah, only you saw them, Haru, so... Shh. I think you lost your mind, Haru. We need to take you to a hospital. Well, yeah, this world is far worse than the one you were in before. Unlike Lisa, whose was obviously an improvement, but we're spending a lot more time on Haru's than hers. Great way to phrase it, Gajaru. That would be something else, though, if all these episodes were just one big Haru dream. And this actually is the real world. That'd be amazing. A glasses character. Gotta tick all those boxes. Something different, like... Literally. Because you suck. Chaining. I somehow read that as cleaning. Not a Balakan case. What do you see? Oh my god, it's last period! He sees himself in the game. That would be so freaky. My life is a lie. But I was ready about this episode being about as meta as it can possibly get. I'm a period. You're also a period, Gacharu. It actually wasn't, but... Well, he's a baby. Go away, fly. This is the real world right here. I have bad news for you, Haru. If that was someone else's phone, that was really messed up. Really not a very effective case, though. You should probably apologize for breaking that guy's phone. Yeah, this is very confusing, like... Because from Choco and Lisa's perspective, they all jumped into a smartphone, but from their perspective, they jumped out of the smartphone. You know? That does look like that one, like, most famous Yandere character, right? It's not just me. Oh. I'm still sure they can get back. What the fuck? Okay, that freaked me out for a second. That freaked me out a lot, actually. My god. You know, this took a turn for the creepy really quickly. Stay away, please. Don't touch me. This really is nightmare stuff right here. Save me, Choco. Is he back in the infirmary? Oh, he really is. I was half joking. And then we loop. Oh. She got close quickly. Well, I say she, but... Is this an all-guys school? That's still a guy's uniform? I'm a little bit confused, but she does come across as a girl. I don't know. I'll just call it a trap and leave it at that. Yeah. Wow. Well, then get him out. Just break the phone, they'll pop out. The call light. Meru. Merc store. Storia. Storia. I mean, you were a call girl, right? My god, Luna. Did you lose your memory too? Yuna! Were you feeling neglected? It's been a while since you gave me money. I had to find you. Everyone. Yeah, I'm as confused as you are, Choco. What's happening right now? I just see don't walk into the light, Choco, it's never good. Oh, where do I get one of those? The kingdom. So, I'm getting progressively more confused. But yeah, apparently this whole time, you've actually been sucked into a game as well. But for some reason you were able to look at other games, other people through the phone. This is so confusing. But yeah, basically you've been split up into 3 games, which are probably all real games. Oh, the episode's already over? Really? That... I don't know, that episode went by weirdly quickly. So, apparently we're kind of into our final arc, it seems like. I mean, it makes... that little reveal there at the end makes some things make more sense. So apparently, it's not a matter of, like a real world versus game world thing. It's just that everyone went to a different game as opposed to last period, which is what they were in originally. And now they're gonna try to get back to their original mobile game. And apparently people in other games can look at other games if they have a smartphone. It's a little confusing. It was definitely interesting though. Some of that stuff with Harder was getting really creepy. And Wiseman actually didn't get much screen time at all, actually. The first thing we saw was them, so I thought they would, but it was kind of a lie. Ooh. Fictional story. These titles. So that was the 10th episode of Last Period. I would say this is probably the most confusing episode of the series, easily. So, okay. The episode started out with the periods chasing after the wise men. Nothing new there. However, they did manage to find their home. I call it a hideout, really, but I guess it's technically just their home. I mean, it makes sense they would put their names on it, but when you're an evil criminals, you probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, they went in there. They saw Luluna. They went to her room first, or at least that's the only spot we really saw them go to. And they's like, "Hey, where are the wise men?" She's like, "I don't know. They're not here." They're like, "Oh, okay. Let's talk to you for a little bit. So, how do you do all those 5-star calls over and over again? Like, what's your secret?" Like, no, I do calls, I guess. We didn't really make much progress on that. So they decided they would watch her, try to figure out the secret. She ended up doing a call, and then everyone kind of fell into it, resulting in everyone being taken to different mobile games. All developed by Happy Elements, of course. There's no surprise there. Now, Lisa went to one called Ensemble Girls, which seems very much like a visual novel style game, at least partially. I don't really know any real specifics on this game, of course. I never played it. And we didn't even get to see that much, really, just some general school life stuff that could be found in any visual novel or anime or whatever. But, the whole point of this is just kind of show what life would be like for a character in that kind of game, constantly being watched by the person playing, being poked by them, because, a lot of those games do have features where you can poke the sprite, and it'll, react and become 1.2 times cuter, or whatever she said. So she did have to deal with that, feeling like she's being watched and poked in the middle of class in various locations. Which led to some very awkward situations for her, to be sure. You even got to see Choco and Luluna, like, in big forms, big heads, just watching them eat on the roof. That was interesting. It really did feel like an Attack on Titan thing, just, like, I'm sure I've seen at least one scene in Attack on Titan, which was kind of similar to that, where it just kind of zooms out and shows the Titans. But anyway, next we went up to Ensemble Stars, I think it was called, which is where Haru and Gajiru ended up. Which it seems somewhat similar to Ensemble Girls, just with guys instead of girls. I guess we didn't really focus too much on the game, really. All we really saw was that it had a dialogue box choices pop up, as well as some supernatural elements, I guess, because one of them did claim to be a vampire. And Haru was having a much more difficult time with his game than Lisa had in hers, because he's very self-aware. Like, he was not completely, like, reborn into this world. He has memories of his previous life. The things around him didn't seem right. He was trying to get some answers. People just thought because he hit his head, which is a convenient excuse to act a little bit weird, and now I know what's going on. But still, they were a little bit worried nonetheless. And when he saw his friend's smartphone and saw Last Period on, he's like, "Oh no, this is not the game I'm meant to be a part of. This is the game I'm meant to be a part of. Now break his phone." That was a little bit messed up on Haru's part. But yeah, he had a little bit of a mental breakdown there. And things got much worse when the character that looked a lot like Gasai, decided to show up and start talking to them and starting switching voices with Gajiru, going in and out of him, I guess. It was a very weird scene, definitely the most unsettling scene in the entire anime. But yeah, eventually that was too much for Haru when he passed out and woke back up in the nurse's office. Now, this whole time, Luluna and Choco have been outsiders looking in on the phone to see Haru and Lisa and all them doing their thing in the various games. Now, although we did have the big reveal that at the end there, they were also in another game that was not Last Period. I think it was called Merc Storia, something like that. And all three of these games are, made by Happy Elements, so that's why they can just use the regular titles. But the interesting thing there is the fact that Iona was also there. Like, she didn't fall into that call, so apparently call girls can just go in and out of various games. I never played any of these games, so maybe these are characters that are reused in different games, and it's a cross-platform, if you will, system for making calls in the different games. That's also a possibility. I'm just throwing out guesses here. That's like the only reason I can think of why Iona would be there. And why Luluna, at least the way she said the kingdom, it feels like she's familiar with it, like she's been there a lot. There was one scene around this time which I found very interesting, and hopefully I'm not just reading too much into this. But Choco and Luluna were having a little bit of a talk, and she was pretty much asking her, "Well, hey, why don't you know how calls work? You make the calls, Something like that. And Luluna said something like, "Did I do that?" Now, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to take away from that. Is she implying that she wasn't, like, ever doing the calls, that she just pretended to? She just went through the motions and somebody else was secretly doing it? Like maybe Black Panella using some black magic? Like maybe that moon-shaped stone thing that she has is the one that's actually doing these calls, and she just, wears it and just maybe moves her hands or whatever. It's like, "Yay, I'm calling now." And meanwhile, she's just literally just like a figurehead sort of for it. Like, that's a possibility. I have really very little to back that up, but I don't know. Maybe that scene where it was not to be taken anywhere near as seriously as I am, but I thought it was a little bit weird. Anyway, yeah, the whole Choco and Luluna being here thing. that makes a lot of sense, because for a while I was kind of thinking, okay, they fell in too, right? Why didn't they go to a different game? And then it was revealed at the end, like, no, they went to a game as well. It's just, they were just not doing anything really progressive until, you know, Yona came knocking. Anyway, it seems like this whole thing is gonna be this anime's final arc, it seems like. So we're certainly continuing this at least to the next episode. And this really is kind of a brilliant way for a company to advertise their other games. Like, hey, we're making an anime adaptation of one of our mobile games. Oh, only one of them, but what about the others? Oh, we'll just have a few episodes where they just our characters explore the other games. That'll be fine advertising for them as well. So, you know, smart move on their part. I can respect that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think any of these games are translated into English, so it doesn't really mean much for most of the Western audience watching it. But you know, it's kind of cool nonetheless. Anyway. So, yeah, time to wait for the next episode. Thank you for watching, and thank you Cnouki, the Dragon of Oshu, as well as everyone else, for doing what you can to support the channel. It means a lot to me, and I hope we can continue to grow the channel together. If you want to do more to support the channel, then you can become a patron on my Patreon, and get cool rewards like early access to certain videos. Have a good one.